Welcome back. Now, earlier we had an interview with a representative from the Labour Department looking at the challenges that the employers to domestic workers face in South Africa, having to be very frustrated at the beginning of the year when their domestic workers and nannies do not return to work. Now, we take this conversation further now with Florence Sosiba. Florence is the Deputy Chairperson of the Domestic Workers Union, SABC, and she joins me now to tell us more about this issue. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good afternoon.
Now, we had the Department of Labour, of course, and they were explaining to us, the rights that we have as employers over the domestic workers. From the meetings and the consultations that you have with your members, your union members, what is the problem? Why would they just decide to go without telling the employers?
The challenges for the domestic workers in the union, that one all the time we find it. The employee, we don't even register. Sometimes just telling, say, you register in the labor, but if you check it after, it's not even there, and then register. And then even also like they're off and they're working for the overtime, and then you don't even pay the overtime. Sometimes you stay in, and then you don't get that money. It's a lot of challenges that one you got it in the domestic workers.
All right, so
yes.
They then decide to leave without telling their employers because of the challenges that they have.
Yeah, sometimes you see he's working, sometimes you see the employee is not treating like normal. Even the money, sometimes you don't give even the overtime, sometimes you don't give even the bonus. And then sometimes these people you just market the other job and then you get the better job.
But what happens to sitting me down as your employer and telling me that this I don't like, this I want fixed, and instead of just leaving without saying anything?
But I don't think so. Sometimes that person, you just leave it and then to go. You sit down before, because even our office in the SABC, in the union, all the time, the people come, they complain. Maybe my boss, I sit down and tell us that my money is too small. Maybe I'm working how many years and then you don't give nothing. Now after some time, the owner, the employee, sometimes you say no. If maybe you can take it, this is my money and whatever, this one sometimes it's my house and whatever, and then now you can go and whatever, and then now the employee, and then he decides to say no, it doesn't help nothing because I'm working all the time, I'm not getting.
But I have challenges.
Yeah, I have the challenges. Sometimes it's a lot of, because that person.
But what conversations are you having with them? Aren't you supposed to represent them as the union if they've got challenges? And some may even be afraid to approach their employers when they have challenges and when they're not satisfied with certain issues.
Yeah, but the problem, if he's the member for the union, it's easy. Because if you're the member for the union and then you come as your union and then you say, no, I have the challenges and my boss and this and this and this. But the union, and then us in the union, you call any employee and then you sit down and you interview. Yeah, interview and then you see what's the problem. You can fix the problem.
But do you get employers coming to you as the union to complain about the domestic workers and the nannies?
It's not definitely to come. It come if maybe the employee come to complain. Now maybe the union and then he phone him and say, no, you have your workers, and then the workers say you have the problem this and this and this and this, and then after that the union and then he phone the employee and then to sit down and then to sort that problem, and then after that, because it's not nice also, and then if you working and you lose the job, and then you just make the union make the relationship and then the employee and the employer.
Okay, but what conversations are you having with your members? I think it was just a few weeks ago we saw a video clip doing the rounds on social media where a domestic worker was doing things in the pots, peeing in the pots to be precise.
I don't know, but us in the union, you don't see, just in the media, but us in the.
But what are you telling them?
In the union,
how do you speak to your members? How do you speak to the domestic workers? There are over 1 million domestic workers in South Africa.
Yeah, us in the union, that's why all the time we say, if he's the member for the union, he must come in the office, and then every Saturday he have the training to workshop them, and then even the last week, once a month, he have the workshop and the CCMA, and then to workshop them. Because if maybe I'm working, I must understand that is my boss, and then I must respect. also, and then also must respect each other.
What do you think?
But I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think the solution would be to this problem of many employers who find themselves stranded at the beginning of every year? When they go home in December, they just don't come back, and they switch off their phones or change their numbers, and employers cannot get hold of them. How do you think we can, both as an employer and employee, solve this problem best?
I think before there things is happening, you must sit employee and employer. All the time you must engage each other. If I have the problem, I must sit in my employee, and then I must tell the problem.
So there must be that open relationship.
Yes, I must open the relationship, and then if you open the relationship, I don't think so you can have that problem. That problem is caused because if you don't have the relationship, the problem starts from there because you not trust each other.
All right. Okay. No, we have to leave it at that, Sis Flo. Thank you so much for coming through.
Okay. Thank you.
Florence Sosiba is the Deputy Chairperson of the Domestic Workers Union, giving their side of the story, basically saying that in most cases when the domestic workers and their nannies just abandon us is due to the fact that they are disgruntled, they are afraid to sit us down as employers to solve this problem. So she says that there should be that open relationship and there should be communication between the two parties.
Professor, thanks very much.